JFK Jr. wins case against US government for vaccine safety violations. Natural news. Del Bigtree, founder of Informed Consent Action Network, teamed up with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to take on the US government by filing a suit against the Department of Health and Human Services for vaccine safety violations, and they won. This is big news for all concerned with the topic of vaccine safety. It turns out the federal agency has been neglecting their vaccine safety obligations for decades. "20,000 armed migrants attack Croatia's border to move into EU," official warns. The Bosnian-Croatian border is under continuous attack by an armed mob of more than 20,000 migrants, an official tells Austria's Kronen Zeitung. The border at Velika Kladuša is only 224 kilometers from Austria, and more than 20,000 migrants hope to break it to move into Central Europe, the experts states. Well, if the governments weren't corrupt, it would simply be a case of calling the army out, firing warning shots, and if they continue to come at you, the inevitable. Time to pay attention. Facebook is aiding the police state by purging police accountability pages. 1 month ago, Facebook and Twitter, without warning or justification, deleted the pages of Free Thought Project and Police the Police, which had over 5 million followers. During this page purge, they also removed hundreds of other pages, including massive police accountability groups like Cop Block, Filming Cops, and stifled the reach of Photography is Not a Crime. We reacted to the purge by stating new pages with the 2 appendix at the end of them. On Sunday, exactly 1 month after that wiped these pages from the internet, Facebook struck again and again. No reason was given. Facebook is part of the control system, and if you can get off it, get off it. There's plenty of others, MeWe, Gab, loads of them to choose from, rather than this fascist book. When a government becomes a corporation, what you need to know. There no longer exists any form of representative government under the framework that it is the United Nations Charter. Today, what presents itself as your council or government, or more correctly, the men and women working within the same, defraud you by pretending they represent you and operate accounting according to the parameters of the office they hold after you gave them your vote to hold that office. What we call government today is in fact an incorporated entity. That means that because they are corporations, they can no longer represent you, a living man or woman, due to the fact that council government has changed jurisdiction. They have shifted from a realm of laws to a realm of commercial legislation. They call the legal system. However, they actively keep up an act in which they work very hard to convince you that they represent you while knowing the contrary to be fact. That makes them liars from the minute they join the council government. The position is in controversy, and all organisations of men, women that cover this fact are also in controversy, including the judiciary. Today the world is governed through the rules of bankruptcy issued to your bankrupt government via the military-backed will of the United Nations. The United Nations, as a satellite of the Round Table Secret Society network, it operates at the banker's official receiver, which gives it full oversight over the asset base of each bankrupt government tied to the UN Charter. Today, for the people and also classed as assets of the bankrupt corrupt government, the corporate government, I think I was right, through the split title the government creates at the registration of live birth, they commit a fraud. First began by Oliver Cromwell when the result of his political changes to Parliament formed a Parliament ready for borrowing under the terms of usury from the rising central bank network. So there you have it. It's actually in the papers that the government, the councils, are in fact corporations, and as such they don't give a shit about men or women. They are there to make profit for the shareholders, and that's it. Profit for the shareholders is all they're interested in. Of course, they have to look like they're actually doing something for the men, women and children by pretending to do stuff that's irrelevant, as we'll find out in a bit. Brexit. Ex-Prime Minister Gordon Brown believes there will be a second referendum. Of course there will be, because he's in the know. He's one of them. They've been planning it all along. It's always, we'll have a referendum, we'll cause so much shit, everyone will get pissed off with it and say, oh, let's just get out of this thing. We'll have another referendum then, and we'll fix it this time to remain. Evidence that referendums don't work in a corrupt corporate government. This is Dame Karen Pierce, your representative in the UN. She wants to sign the Migrant Pact in your name on the 11th of December 2018 without any debate or referendum. That means open borders to 244 million global migrants, free access to our welfare system for migrants, making criticism of migrants an offence. Have you ever heard of this? You're not the only one. Help us put a stop to this by signing our petition for an open debate and a referendum at change.org. Yeah, it's there if you want to look at it. Of course, petitions don't make any difference, but if you want to go and sign it, feel free. But at least it might give them an idea of how many are pissed off and know what the corrupt scam's all about. Mother of 4 found dead in freezing home after her welfare was cut off. 38-year-old Elaine Morrill had her welfare payments stopped after missing an interview with officials. Her mother claims she later died wearing a coat and scarf in a home she couldn't afford to heat. This is the reality of universal credit. It is there to depopulate the planet of the most poor of our society. It is a crime against humanity. This should be taken to the European Court, well, to any court of human rights where the government can be prosecuted because they are guilty of murder. Thousands have died after being found fit for work, DWP figures show. Campaigners demand welfare overall after statistics reveal 2,380 people died after 2011 to 2014, shortly after being declared able to work. Nearly 90 people a month are dying after being declared fit for work, according to new data that has prompted campaigners and Labour leadership contenders to call for an overhaul of the government's welfare regime. A regime, of course, is a dictatorship. Statistics released by the Department of Work and Pensions revealed that during the period December 11 to February 14, 2,380 people died after their claim for employment and support allowance ended because a work capability assessor found they were found fit for work. We need to be going for these assessors. They're the ones guilty of murder. Yes, I know it's via the government. The government are also guilty, but let's go after the individuals. Pervert tried to buy baby for an hour in inner city's legal red light zone. Horrified residents call for scheme to be scrapped after string of sickening incidents, including curb crawler asking a girl 13, "Are you working?" Perverts asks grandmother for an hour alone whether her 4-month-old grandson. A 13-year-old girl waiting at a bus stop with her mum is asked if she's working. The incident took place in Holbeck, Leeds, in Britain's first legal red light district. The council's scheme to legalise sex work backfires as even children walking home from school take detours just to avoid being positioned for sex. Of course, it's a council job, a corporate job, so they're going to be into making children into sex slaves because all councils are run by paedophiles, just like the government. Lord Leicester grabbed me from behind, then chased me around his kitchen. Lobbyist reveals how she was promised a peerage if she slept with disgraced Lib Dem 82 as he is banned from Parliament for a record 4 years. Javinder Sangura, 53, accused Lord Leicester, 82, of campaign of harassment. The peer is suspended until June 2022. He's not sacked, he's just suspended for breaching the behaviour code. He harassed a woman and tried to make her sleep with him. The authorities said Leicester allegedly said he could secure a woman a peerage a decade ago. It's all corruption. Why do we put up with this shit? How liberal prostitution laws have made Switzerland a hub for sex trafficking. It's 8 AM and the rain is coming down in sheets. The streets are empty except for a dozen women and their pimps. Women from some of the world's poorest regions, including Moldova, Romania, West Africa and Southeast Asia. Some are still in their teens. It's not just the UK, it's all over Europe, all over the Western world is run by paedophiles. France calls for EU empire and warns of EU breakup in next crisis. Well, the EU needs breaking up. France has launched a feverish campaign to shore up the euro before the next global downturn, so they know it's coming, warning that monetary union is not strong enough to withstand another crisis and faces disintegration without fiscal union. No, it needs disintegration. Then we need to lock up the politicians that have ever voted against a man or a woman. In other words, if ever a politician has voted to cut benefits of any sort, they need to be arrested and charged with corporate manslaughter. And as if you can... Look, this is just how ridiculous councils are. Council spends $12,000 on promenade signs telling cyclists to slow down. 4 flashing speed signs costing thousands of pounds have been erected along a busy beach promenade to reduce the number of clashes between cyclists and pedestrians. It's quite simple. If you're that bothered, just make a cycle path. You seem to be doing that all over the bleeding place. But don't waste councils. Absolute corrupt. Texas judge sanctions CPS $127,000 for wrongfully taking couples' children and lying to the court. Right, sanctioning the CPS isn't good enough. Whoever it was needs locking up. The Times. Men and women really do think differently, say scientists. Barnier tries to bounce May into Brexit deal. Prime Minister rebooks EU for brinkmanship. Law offered campaigner peerage in return for sex. They're all at it. Mirror. Michael Obama, why I could never forgive bully Trump. I'm a celebrity lineup. Okay. I know Harry Redknapp. I've seen him. Don't know his name. Think she's on The Chase. Don't know who she is, don't know who she is. Brit killed by rabies from cat bite. Warning after holidaymaker catches killer disease and fails to get jab in time. So, for the Mirror, it's TV, transgender, and that's probably the only one that's off worthy being in there. Telegraph. The tragic tale of an aristocratic dynasty. Making a murderer, Catherine Zellner. Is this painting about to make history? I doubt it. No deal is better than caving into Brussels. Cabinet Eurosceptics to warn May EU's demand will lock UK into customs union. Well, that's been the plan all along. Peer faces long ban for sexual harassment. Michael Obama, why I hugged the Queen. Michael Obama, The Guardian. Michael Obama, wife can feel like a loaded word for a man. Susan Moore, why I was wrong about remembrance. Revealed the bullying culture in Whitehall. Time running out as May claims Brexit negotiations in endgame. The Star. I'm a celeb in is good. Right. Again. No Redknapp. Know him. Don't know her. Don't know her. Don't know her. Think he's been in a series. Don't know her. Dingle Bells. Emmerdale legend is back for Christmas after 17-year break. Rabid cat kills Brick tourist. So, we've got in the Star, the headlines are TV programme, TV programme. You've got to be brain dead to actually buy that paper. Express. Revealed our favourite royals, none of the parasitical scum. I won't accept a Brexit deal at any cost because I've already arranged what's going to happen and it's bad for us but good for the parasites. As Home Secretary admits more police can help stem rising violent crime, officers say give us back 20,000 police. Cruel trolls target Strictly Judge Shirley. Right, why Strictly is in the paper every day? There's something behind that I don't know. Anything but independent. Life as our longest serving female MP. Gina Miller will be blamed for Brexit. Russian spies may up their game now. Oh, piss off. Why King Charles should be a meddler? No, he shouldn't, and he shouldn't be a king. He should be in prison because he's a paedophile. Hunt meets Saudis in pressure as pressure mounts. Voters in marginal Tory seats demand final say. Will of the people. Referendum swing poses problem for Pim. Right. We've had the referendum. We voted to leave. Now, if they have another one, that means referendums are totally and utterly pointless because they don't pay attention to when the public says, we want to leave. Of course, they will fix the vote anyway. But I've been saying this all along. And you should be up in arms when they do finally go for this. Because it's going to come. Aye. Day of reckoning for the PM and Brexit. Malibu stars lose their homes in California's deadliest wildfires. Spider-Man creator Stan Lee dies. Born in Fiji, made for England. Giant winger Joe Saiga prepares for the Twickenham debut. What we are building now is the complete opposite to of ISIS. Meet the 30-year-old mayor of Raqqa. The new Silk Road, China's global empire. Chancellor faces defeat on crack cocaine betting machines. Government would be first to lose vote on its own budget since Jim Callaghan 40 years ago. Large Tory rebellion led by May's ex-ministers. 6-month delay to crack down on fixed odds. Betting terminals is set to be overturned in Commons. Former ministers tells I it's simply the right thing to do. Daily fail. Brave leukemia boy Zach flies to US for treatment thanks to mail readers. Pressure grows to give Christian woman asylum. Boris, UK must help mother in fear of lynch mob. British government won't help anyone. That's not part of it. Remember, they're a corporation. If it's not going to make them money, profit for the shareholders, they don't give a shit. And that's becoming blatantly obvious, even to the most dumbest of the dumb out there. Metro. Meet the celebs. Right. So, I know the first one. I know the second one. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Know him. Know her. Don't know. Don't know. Celebs. British Nazis race war plot. Fascist couple convicted along with serving soldier. Yeah, it's them whites that are a problem, not this invasion by the... Yeah, you know the rest. Financial Times. Merkel hails 100 years of women votes because she knew that by doing that, it got doubled the amount of workforce that they could rob of tax. That's all it was about. Nothing to do with women's voting or power or anything like that. Mod places Babcock under close watch over nuclear subcontract. Officials warns of real concern. Group says relationship strong. Chairman under fire. Russian resilience. Why Western sanctions are having little effect.
Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.